Hello, hello. Let me get a drink of water. Ooh, I've been talking a lot this week. All right, we are on to Thursday. This week has flown by. Hello, welcome in everyone. I have Facebook and Instagram going. I'm gonna give it a minute, just let you all pop on. Also, I need to get myself situated. I wanted to share something with y'all. So let me find it. So we are on day 8 of our 30-day. No crying today, Brooklyn. I promise. I'm not gonna cry. Actually, I can't promise that. I can't make that promise. I'm gonna try hard though, cause crying in public, like what? Okay. Let me see. Where's this post? So yesterday we did our first episode of the DTP Show, so Design to Profit. Design to Profit is my signature program for brand and web designers. And I help them take their business from struggling to striving. We have students who we interviewed yesterday who have reached the six-figure and multiple six-figure mark. And when they came to me, like, they were barely hitting 2K, and it wasn't consistently. So, this show, the Design to Profit show, is all about my students. And so we had our first episode yesterday. We streamed it live into the prep school community. So the prep school is my membership for graphic, brand, and web designers. And it is super entry level. We do foundational stuff there. We're really building the business. And that is $67 a month. And that is where Crystal and Janaea, so my two students that I interviewed yesterday for the Design to Profit show, they both started in prep school. And so we live streamed in there because I think it's really important to showcase where people have been. And I feel like that's a gap, like it's missing just across the whole like online learning space, and for just online space in general, because everybody's an expert. And I actually agree. Like I do believe that everyone has expertise. Most people don't know how to leverage it and actually step into it so that they are seen as an expert. They just kind of call themselves an expert. But on this online space, where everyone is an expert and everyone is winning, right? That's what we see. We see the big numbers. We see, all the success. But what we don't see is where they came from and how long it took them to get there and the sacrifices that they had to make. Not that a sacrifice doesn't have to be, life and death, but it could be where some months, you're not going out to eat like you used to. Or I know when I was first starting my business, I posted this actually. When I started my business, I did not have Wi-Fi. I did not have a computer. I started my business on a straight talk phone. So if y'all don't know what Straight Talk is, that is Walmart's version of phone. It's prepaid. I had a prepaid phone, and that's how I started my business. But so many people don't share that. They only show like the glamorous after. And then we have new people, or even not even new people, but just in general, seeing like where someone is and comparing their journey, like their now, to, someone's starting point. And it just doesn't match up. And that's really the beauty of the Design to Profit show. The DTP show is showcasing, the humble beginnings, right? So many of us just think that we're out here struggling on our own. But we're not. We're not. It's more common than not that you're gonna struggle. Cherie says we need to be a bit more raw and transparent sometimes. Absolutely. It's the rawness and the realness and the transparency, the vulnerability that allows people to actually connect with you. Because it shows you're a real freaking person. It humanizes you. Like Brooklyn said up here, no crying today. Like, how many people do you really see who are out here that you look up to, that are showing up and they're being real and they're showing the tears and the, just the growth. That in and of itself is so, like, it's profound and it needs to be seen. But I feel like when you get to a certain point, sometimes you don't want people to know how far you came. I know for me, like when I first started, I didn't tell anyone I was self-taught. I was embarrassed that I was a self-taught designer because I thought people would think less of me. But when I actually started sharing that fact about myself, people were intrigued. Like, what? You learned how to design off of YouTube? That's impressive. And so a lot of the things that we are judging our own selves about, if we would just put it out there for other people to just know, it would inspire them and motivate them and actually create a deeper connection than trying to pretend and put on this facade that everything is perfect and I've always been winning. Right? Like, that's not helping anyone. That is setting a horrible expectation for the people watching. For someone to get up here and be like, oh yeah, I never struggle, or like it's always been easy. Who can relate to that? And it's wild that is how unrelatable that is. So many of us are scared to show up as ourselves, as this transparent, vulnerable human who has learned lessons and who has gone through so much and overcome so much and has achieved something. Like, that's impressive. And we don't celebrate ourselves nearly as much. I want you to like ask yourself, I saw this post, what did it say? It said something like you're currently living or experiencing, or like you have something that you've prayed so long for. And like I've seen that before, and of course, like I get it, but we don't slow down. We don't slow down to look around and see all that we have accomplished. And we get so down and low on ourselves because we haven't accomplished everything. Okay, so what? That doesn't mean anything, but you have accomplished something. And when you can celebrate those wins, no matter how small they are, it's going to put you on a higher level. It's energy, y'all. Energy. What energy you put out is the energy that you attract. So if you're celebrating your wins, if you're celebrating other people's wins, it puts you in a good mood. And what happens when you're in a good mood? You do stuff, right? You take action that's actually going to help you move forward instead of dwelling on things. Like, okay, we're at the end of the year. I know a lot of people right now are reflecting and they're feeling like crap about themselves because they didn't accomplish everything that they wanted to accomplish. Most people don't. But are you looking at what you have accomplished? Are you looking at the things that you have done? Are you looking at the things that you have right now that just, a month ago or 2 months or 6 months or a year or 2 years, 10 years ago was just a dream? Like, I have to pinch myself all the time and be like, wow. I'm going to share something. And this is, it kind of sounds bad. I'm going to share it though. So I had this thought. I was reflecting. I didn't have the thought today, but as I was just reflecting and just thinking about like all of my growth and how far I've come and just business and personal. And not even too long ago, I was looking at my numbers, and this just shows how we get in our own way and it holds us back. So I was looking at my numbers one month, and I literally said to myself, wow, I only made $20,000. What? Like, I had to think, like, in that moment I had to stop. And then today I just reflected on that moment. Like, Amber, did you really just hear the words that came out of your mouth? I have, in the past, been upset because I only made $20,000 in a month. When there were times, most of my life, I didn't even know that was possible. And here I am doing the shit, and I'm not giving myself the credit. I'm just dwelling on the fact that I didn't do more than I did last year. What are we doing? And then it like there's this effect, this trickle down, a month, Brooklyn, a freaking month. And I had the audacity to be like, that's all you did? What? It's mind-blowing that I had those thoughts, and I have to really like get clear and be like, girl, if you don't sit your ass down, have several seats, because you are killing it, and you over here feeling bad about yourself because you didn't go up from last month. So that's what this show is about. Like, we get in our own heads, we psych ourselves out, but we have done and accomplished so much, and we're just not giving ourselves credit for it. We're just not patting ourselves on the back. Want to know why? Because we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to celebrate ourselves. We're not taught to be proud of what we've accomplished, because it's going to sound like you're bragging, right? Let's see, 3 years ago, that's all I made for the year and a kid. And those are the thoughts. When I thought that to myself, I had to really sit, like, I wanted to slap myself in the face for even fixing my mouth to let those words come out. But it's like, I even thought, like, when I got out of college and I was working in my career, I only made $30,000 a year. And I have done that multiple times in a single month. Yet, I'm so focused on where I'm going that I'm not celebrating even though, like, I keep saying small wins, like, these are huge things. So I want you to ask yourself, like, when is the last time you've actually celebrated how far you've come? When is the last time you've celebrated an achievement instead of automatically going to that next one, that next? Like, we're always on pursuit of, okay, I did, check mark, did that, on to the next one, and we're not giving ourselves the credit we deserve. And that is why the Design to Profit show is so, I'm so excited for it, because just the feedback that I've gotten, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. The Design to Profit show is to help you realize that you're on the right track. And just because you don't have it figured out today doesn't mean that in a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, even a year and a half, and like, we might think like, oh, that's a long time. A year and a half is a long time to wait to finally, like, get to that place that I've been dreaming of. But is it really? Like, let's look at some context. So I'm going to use Crystal as an example, because on our first episode yesterday, Crystal shared that this year, so she was introduced to me a year and a half ago, as of like right now, a year and a half ago. And when she came into contact with me was, barely hitting 2K months. And it was not consistent. And in just 1.5 years, so what is that? 18 months. So in 18 months, she went from not knowing, there was no structure, she didn't even feel like she had a business, to now she's made over $200,000 in her business. And she has a team. And she's not working crazy around the clock, insane hours. She has structure in her life and in her business. And it only took a year and a half. And sometimes, like, we have to really think about that perspective, like, that's going to take too long. Or are you quitting too soon? I had a conversation with my husband this morning about, I'm watching my stats, you guys. Like, I'm looking at the data. I'm analyzing. As I'm showing up, this is day 9. What is happening? What are the results that I'm getting? Is it doing anything? And what am I going to do with this information? And, I told Aaron, my husband, I was like, I've gone live. I'm doing the things. And I'm noticing my numbers. And they're not where I want them to be. But instead of freaking out and shutting the shit down, like, I'm not doing this anymore because it's not worth my time, don't give up. Exactly. We can't give up just because we're not getting an immediate result. Like, we live in this world of instant gratification, and we quit too soon. We quit too soon, and we don't take into account all that we have done, all that we have achieved, all that we have accomplished. The small wins that collectively every day are going to create a big win. We're not satisfied with the small win. We're not satisfied with a baby step. And really, that's what it's going to have to take. You have to be able to slow down and ask yourself, like, is what I'm doing getting me the result that I want? And if not, let's look at it. What can we do differently? But we also have to know, like, if we decide we're going to shut something down. So, for example, I had a membership last year, and I shut it down. It generated $82,000 in 1 year, and I shut it down because it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to me. And a lot of times we don't listen to ourselves. We just are in such go mode that we can miss something so obvious because we're just trying to zoom by to the next thing. So my whole spiel here is slow down, guys, and take stock of what you've done. And I'm hoping that if you haven't watched the replay, or you didn't catch us live, there's a replay from yesterday. Definitely check that out if you're a designer, okay? Because it's interesting, like, so many of the designers I come in contact with don't even know what is possible. Like, I had no clue that you could even make $20,000 in a month. No clue. The first time I ever heard someone say anything about a 20K month, it was my best friend, Jody Brim, and she was like, I just want to make 20K a month. And I'm like, how you do that? Like, what? Like, it was just so mind-blowing to me that was even possible. I didn't grow up in a house or a environment that was a thing. It did not exist. And that's what I'm finding. Most of us out here don't even realize what is possible. These big numbers that seem so out of reach, literally impossible, they are possible. And the first step is believing in yourself. But if you're not taking stock and really celebrating and patting yourself on the back for all the little things that you're doing, you're not going to make it to the big thing, because you're going to give up because you're not seeing that you actually are getting progress in your business. So I'm hopeful that with the Design to Profit show, one, we are going to be able to show designers just like you what is possible. Okay, we're seeing that. We see a lot of what is possible. But to hear the story of a designer, someone just like you, who was once in the exact same position as you, and took a step one day, and then a step the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and ended up with the result. That's what I want to bring to you guys in the Design to Profit show is, what are these steps? Like, what are designers doing? Of course, it's not gonna break down. Like, we can't help you build your whole business in an episode, but collectively, I'm hoping that the stories that we share and the experiences and the journeys from, struggling to grow your business or to create a life that you love, all because of your business, struggling to even wrap your mind around what you can create, to consistently, like, blowing your mind at what you've been able to do. It's possible. And that's what I just want to show, that possibility, that opportunity, and really just hammer on the fact that your current situation does not define, like, your final destination. That's really what the show is about. And I'm just so obsessed already with the response and the feedback that we've gotten. So we're going to be bringing more of those episodes. They're actually going to be on my YouTube channel, which that's on my agenda today. Like I announced yesterday, I've been putting this thing off because, like, intros and thumbnails and, like, keywords, and I'm putting all this pressure on myself, and I decided today I'm not going to do that anymore. I have content. I'm just going to put it up. And if someone comes upon it and it helps them, amazing. But it doesn't mean anything about me if my YouTube channel isn't perfect. And if someone's going to judge me because it's not perfect, then they're not meant for me anyways. So this whole reframe, this also is what I'm hoping to instill by way of the Designs Profit Show. How are you thinking? How are you approaching? How are you responding to what's going on in your life, in the day-to-day? Because you have a choice. You have a choice of how you respond, how you choose to let things influence you or impact you, or how you decide to view yourself. It's all your own choice. And I'm hopeful that these stories will just inspire you and just help you to believe in yourself, because that's it. If you believe in yourself, that's the hardest part, is believing that you can do hard things, that you can achieve the impossible, right? If you don't believe it, you won't get anyone else to believe it. So you and what you believe is 100% going to help you achieve the thing or not. Okay? Angelica says, love that. IG stresses me out because I just felt like I had to do it perfectly. Yep, we had this conversation. Angelica is a prep school student who is having all kinds of ahas. Do you mind, Angelica, if I share your aha moment that you just posted in the group? Jessica says, I wrote that down. It's so helpful. Yes, you have a choice. Let me know if you mind. It was so beautiful what you posted, just the clarity. And again, it's only been, prep school has only existed for 2 weeks. So, okay, Angelica says, I don't mind. So let me pull up your post. There's been so many aha moments. Okay, so Angelica says, so I just finalized my packages, and guess what, y'all? We got prices! She says, I realized all my past attempts to start a business, I never had set price because I had no idea what to factor in. Plus, I was just too scared to charge. Like, charging a higher price was rude of me or something. How many of you I've felt that before, like, oh, we be in other people's pockets. We want to decide for other people what they can afford when we really have no clue what other people can afford. So it's us, okay? So then Angelica goes on to say, this time, not only do I have actual numbers, these numbers were strategically calculated, so I feel great about them. I'll sing it to them if need be. Thank you, Amber, for your genius, because I'm having a great time. She's having a great time in her business. And we had to talk about that too. We had to have a mindset shift. We had to blast through the limiting belief that Instagram is hard. Instagram is a process. Instagram has to be perfect. So what story are you telling yourself that's actually holding you back? Because as soon as Angelica reframed it, how'd you feel? Angelica, you tell us. How did you feel after you decided that Instagram doesn't have to be hard, or it doesn't have to be perfect, or it doesn't have to look a certain way? It could just be whatever you want it to be, however you feel inclined to show up and put your stuff out here on the Instagram streets. I know for me, it's empowering to know that I can make my own rules. And that's the beauty of having your own business, is you do get to make your own rules. And we had this conversation too, where it's like we come into business and we think it's supposed to be a certain way. We think it's supposed to be a certain way, and then we we let that dictate how we move and how we think in our business. So Angelica said, it's releasing. You have that assurance that the right people will stick around. Absolutely. We don't have to convince people, you guys. If you're having to convince people to work with you, we're missing something. We're missing some foundational stuff. If you're scared to say your prices, Crystal even said that. She was like, I would raise my prices, but that's not what I charged. Have you ever done that? Like, yep, my price is this, but as soon as you get on that sales call, it's back to the old price because you didn't feel confident enough to say the new price. Cherie says, IG is hard because so many people look the same. We have to be authentic to you. And when you are authentic to you, that's when your people come. And it's so like such a backwards way of thinking, right? Like, I can help everyone, you know, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to leave anyone out. But when you start leaving people out and you start being super selective in who you want to work with, it gives you the freedom to be you, because you're going to attract that select group of people that you were meant to work with. So it's empowering, you guys. So empowering. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. I don't want to go too much over my 30-minute limit I set for myself. But I'm loving this challenge. I'm loving just seeing you guys pop up consistently. I really appreciate your support and just showing up and cheering me on, because, you know, I've told you all, like, this is a struggle for me, and I'm working every day for the next 30 days. Well, I guess what I'm at, 21 days now. To step into who I want to be, who I need to be to get to my next level. Cherie, I loved your last post, the quote that you shared by Michelle Obama. Like, love that. And I think that's, if we can go into the new year knowing that it's not the goals. Like, we let our goals define us, and then when we don't hit them, then we're a failure. But it's not about the goal. It's about who you become in pursuit of the goal. Who are you becoming? And that post was perfect, Cherie, that you shared. So I'm going to leave it there. Who are you becoming in pursuit to your goals? Okay? I want you to think about that. Because if you're not becoming anyone and you're just trying to check some ticks off of the box, you know, you're just ticking the box away, what are you actually achieving? If you're not becoming this higher version of yourself, stepping into that next level, if your actions aren't leading to that, then, like, what really are we doing? Something to ponder on, you guys. Something to ponder on. So I'm going to leave it right there. I appreciate you all for showing up. Again, the support, it means everything. I see you, Sean. Thank you. So I'm gonna continue to show up for the next 21 days, and it's not gonna stop then. I already know that, because I am stepping into this content creator. I am a content creator. I have been for years, and now I'm just owning it. So what are you gonna own? I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what you all evolve into, because the possibilities are so limitless. Okay, I'm going to end. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye. All right, Facebook. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.